r/askreddit, what was the most out of touch with reality thing a rich person ever said to you? My boss asked me why I didn't just buy a house in her neighborhood instead of renting an apartment. The houses there were $300,000 to $500,000, very pricey for my area, and she was paying me $9/h. I had literally just applied for food stamps. And GT, the houses there were $300,000 to $500,000, very pricey for my area, and she was paying me $9/h. I had literally just applied for food stamps. Some of these I wonder if the person is only playing dumb and are secretly malicious and get off on reminding their employees they pay them peanuts. I didn't go to college for 7 years after high school due to struggles with alcoholism and bipolar disorder. A kid I worked with asked me what I was doing working and going to school at 25, and when I said I took time off due to personal issues, his response was, "Wow, if you're not making at least $100K a year at 25, you basically fucked your life up." Guess I have fucked my life up multi-folds then. Why have roommates at all? I don't think anyone I knew had roommates. Seems like too much trouble. Just spend the extra $100 on rent and live at peace. An 80-year-old man. Extra $100 to not have roommates, lol. More like $500 to $1,000. Yeah, if it was only $100 I'm sure most would agree. Although that's probably not a rich thing, more like a doesn't know the current prices thing. 2008, Great Recession, my job was cut from full-time salary to hourly and then my hours were cut regularly. My boss, the business owner who was in the midst of a company-paid whole home remodel, handed me my paycheck and said, "Wow, you don't make shit." How did the company pay his personal home full remodel? Did he write that off as a business expense instead of declaring it as income? If your car is broken, why don't you just go buy a new car? He was deadpan serious. Not a quote from the person, but me and my sister were planning a weekend trip with our two cousins and one of them just could not understand how and why we couldn't make the trip longer and couldn't seem to understand the concept of taking time off work and that we can't just not show up whenever we feel like it. Why don't you just buy a house? It's going to be cheaper than paying rent. Thanks. Just let me find the down payment that I don't have yet. My boss said this to me when I told him that I was quitting because I couldn't afford rent on my own if my boyfriend and I broke up. From my old boss, I feel like you can't find a decent place to live around here for less than $8 million. I bet you can. Oh, you get seasonal depression? Why don't you just go to the Caribbean for a week and the Mediterranean the next? It always helps me. My former therapist. She's an about to retire general practitioner MD who does psychotherapy on the side. Saw she has $. She suggested I quit my job, break up with my partner, and backpack around Europe for a couple months. How and what? How and what? Larry, I'm on DuckTales. Because I'm a minimum wage worker, Karen. I am a not rich person that lives in a rich town. I got tired of people asking me what pool club I belong to, so now I just try to keep a straight face, stare into their soul and say, "My sprinkler in my backyard, you." It's just money. Many of my friends and family are in education, always a struggle explaining that time off at Christmas lessens my time off in summer. Bitch, I got $0 in my account, and I need to pay $400 in car repairs right now or else I won't have any other way to get to work until I get paid 3 days from now. This was pre-pandemic before remote work was a thing. It's not just money, it's the thing I need to survive and work my entire life for. My old roommate said of his then boyfriend, if he needs a new car, why doesn't he just ask his parents for one? This is also a man whose parents bought him a brand new Volkswagen SUV when he was 31 years of age. The person who underpaid me told me to get my kids out of public school and pay for private schools. A contractor keep avoiding me paying a promised bonus cause they need to pay their kids' private school. I dumped them, and they had to finish the software app that they didn't want to be involved cause I'm a manager now, I don't program or fix computers, just give orders mindset. I think there's a book bound with human skin in here. /billionaire showing me his siblings' extensive library. He was high and immediately retracted it when he realized he'd said that to someone he'd literally just met hours before. Some things should not be bought even if you have the money. A friend of mine said to me about a year ago, I'm paraphrasing, "You should really get your own house, man. I know it's hard to leave your parents behind, but I can tell you from experience it's completely worth it. Just do it and I promise you won't regret it." He, of course, received as a gift from his parents for his 25th birthday a 4-bed 2-bath home in one of the nicer neighborhoods in Houston. A gift as in, they paid cash up front, bought it outright and signed it over to him. Ever since I donated millions to the church for a new pipe organ, our city symphony orchestra has been hounding me to become a benefactor. They must think I'm made of money. A co-worker of mine was talking with a parent once, summer camp in a rich town. The parent mentioned how she loved my co-worker's dress, and wanted to know where she bought it, with the stipulation that it cost under $10,000. Turns she had bought the dress on clearance for something like $10. When she explained this, the parent just laughed like it was a joke, saying no really, how much was it? Never seen someone thought out of touch. That's a humble brag if I ever heard one. This one sounds intentional. Thank them for being an organ donor. Everyone should check that box when getting their driver's license. That $80K/year is an embarrassingly low salary. Oh, that hurt my soul. Retired couple when asked how higher fuel prices would impact their around Australia caravan trip. We just raised the rents on our 3 investment properties. Extremely infuriating. When I was working as a PM/senior carpenter building multimillion dollars cash pits. My favorite thing to tell these obscenely rich clients was we can do whatever you want. It's only money. Husband's friend grew up very wealthy. We were walking through a mall and someone commented on how people had left a mess at one of the tables at the food court and how shitty it was that someone had to clean it up. He said, well, if he didn't want a shitty job, then he should have gone to college, as if everyone can afford it. Mind you, this kid's parents put him through college and he never even had a job until he graduated and daddy's business hired him. So out of touch. It's one banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10. It's one dress, Michael. What could it cost? $10,000. I love Arrested Development. Thanks for the laugh. Our CEO mourned having to sell 4 of the company's private jets in a town hall meeting because it was really personal to him and her. Meanwhile, the personnel cuts were described as necessary in the same meeting. From my parents a number of years ago, why are you even looking in the suburbs? Why don't you just buy a nice 4B/3BA in Seattle in a good school district? Gee, why didn't I think of that? My former friend wasn't filthy rich, but he was solidly middle class. He once asked what the point of universal healthcare was. He wanted it abolished because he felt that if you couldn't afford healthcare then you were a burden and deserved to die anyway. I hope that person was projecting his own feelings about himself, because that's just fucked up. My husband was on a business trip with some rich people in Hawaii. They asked why I didn't come. He told them I was home with the kids. The guy says, well, couldn't the nanny just stay with them? Nice enough guy, just out of touch for sure. I kind of feel bad for kids of ultra-rich people. The maids and butlers end up being more of a parental figure for a lot of them than the actual parents. I was complaining about mortgage payments, and she said, I know, I finally just took the money out of savings and paid mine off so I wouldn't have to worry about it every month. Oh gosh, this is a good one, LOL.